The Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies. Tape never lies.
Starts now.
Tape never lies.
The tape.
Draft Dr. Phil and the Smartest Man.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
So chase greatness and start understanding that he's gonna make everybody better.
Tape never lies.
I don't want to see your tape breakdowns if you cannot show me things that are negative about a guy that's on your current team.
Hashtag chase greatness. Hashtag take that.
Keep it 100.
Because I'll make this one more time clear. Caden Whitlow, got it.
Keeping it 100.
He is the best quarterback I have ever scouted on tape.
The Chicago Bears select.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keep it in 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the fake and anger, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now they're mouth stuffed like the Jew and now and laters. Debaters, straws get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane.
Give me some fucking names. Wait, 2 fucking games?
Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unfair. The tape never lies, the truth. You see, we laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a stat nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like trip sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we're keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the Smartest
Keeping it
Man.
100.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the Smartest Man.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, what is good, TTNL family? I am back. It's your girl, Lady Bear. We got a fun show for you guys tonight, but I'm going to take a page from Ivan's book. I've been tuning in and brushing up on my intro. So first, I want to do some housekeeping and let you all know to like, share, subscribe. The Tape Never Lies across all social media. And of course, for more in-depth, it's been a while. More in-depth video breakdowns and, Phil and Shane to get more. Subscribe to our Patreon at thetapeneverlies.com. But, we got this. It's what Shane has coined Grown Man's Christmas Eve. So, of course, we got our annual cars coming in to let us know exactly what the Bears are going to do because cars is all-knowing. And, of course, the more draft talk. We're getting ready for tomorrow. It's going to be a long weekend ahead of us, so buckle up and get ready for the fun. And without
Fuck you, Bullets.
Also, sorry, Bullets, love you. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in the guys that you really came here to see. Mr. Shane, Smartest Man Marsaw, and Mr. Giraffe, Dr. Phil. Hi,
Yo,
What's up, Sheree?
welcome back, Cherie.
Thank you.
You promised me 2 Christmas presents. I got 0
I
in
know.
the intro, but
I'm sorry.
damn it, Cherie. We're getting the family back together, though.
Just getting it
Missing
back.
a couple people.
Getting it back. Sheree's back.
I am. I
Oh,
had
yes.
a hiatus, get my mind right, but I am back and ready to roll. So,
Mama did. Yeah, there she is. There's Miss Deborah. She stopped in a couple of times while you were
I
on
know she had to see her feel.
on your religious retreat while you were gone. Miss Deborah always stopped in.
I love Sheree's mom.
Oh boy.
She was calling me and like, when are you going back? And I guess she couldn't wait for me, so she had to come in and get her feel.
Get her fill fix. Yes. Yeah.
You gotta
be at least this tall to ride this ride. So
Jeepers creepers.
Phil
And I
set.
will say I've been catching up on videos because I've kind of been tapped out of everything going on, but I was catching up. And Phil, I love that show last night with you and Tate. So
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was fun.
Tate didn't get the corner he wanted, but that's why we hit the UDFA market.
Yeah, he didn't get the corner he wanted, that's for sure. Not this year.
Yeah. Not this year, but yeah, Cherie said it. Grown man's Christmas, man. It's been a crazy 48 hours in the NFL draft world. I think quiet.
There it
Tear
is.
to my eye every time. But I think that the Bears are doing the right thing. You know, they normally don't let anything out. And yesterday, people had the Bears trading up. They're trading back. Today, trading up. And I don't think anybody knows anything. You know, I made the comment earlier today talking about the draft. You know, Ryan Poles came out and said, you know, chaos. It's going to be wild. And when people keep on saying that and talking about how nuts it's going to be, then you get to draft night and you get to about pick 12 and everything's pretty much chalk. And we're like, what? You know, where's all the action? So we'll see how it is. But again, I'm still maintaining that Mason Graham's going to fall into the Bears' lap.
Well, when's the last time you predicted the right draft pick? Darnell Wright?
No, I called Caleb Williams last year. I knew that was it's all over it.
You were all over that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know I didn't do the Gordon one. Obviously, that's super tough. Second round. But
Brisker, no,
I wasn't in on that.
Cole Kmet, we kind of called.
That was because I didn't. My 2 picks that draft, the Bears had the 2 second rounders.
Jalen Hurts
and Trayvon Diggs were the 2 guys that I wanted. I wanted a quarterback and a corner, and we went tight end and corner. Those were the 2 guys that I would have drafted if I was the Bears that year, but I wasn't the GM. They didn't hire me.
Super chat early, Chubbs. Try to get them as they come. That's what she said. I'm okay for trading up for Carter if we just give up one of those 2s and next year a
Yeah,
third.
it's going to cost you more than that. That's for sure. The rumor was they've already turned down the 2 2s.
Bro,
So
I don't believe none of these rumors.
yeah, no, me either.
Anything
I'm not.
out?
Yeah, I'm
Game. That's just a game.
I can sit right at 10 and I'm going to get you a kick-ass football player. That's the way that I look at it. I'm not giving up assets.
Well,
Giving up those 2
Daniel
2s.
Jeremiah's mock.
Yeah, I know. Didn't
Membu, Cam Ward, Hunter, Abdul Carter 3, Will Campbell 4, Genty 5, Banks 6, Membu 7, Mason Graham 8, Michael Williams 9. That's where you go Mike Green.
Yeah.
He doesn't have Mike Green in the first round. I can't see him.
And you go through, and this is his mock that what he is hearing, is that's the famous thing that a lot of these guys are doing now. And you see more and more. You're seeing more and more of Michael Williams being mocked number 9 to New Orleans.
No,
so it's
I
gonna
called Torrey Taylor. I was all for Torrey Taylor. I don't care what people say.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he's 28 years old going into year 2, but he's also a punter. But
Exactly.
yeah, not that big of a deal.
In this case of just hypothetically his mock, are you okay with Tyler Warren there?
No.
So would
I'm not
rather trade up then?
No.
So you'd rather Tyler Warren then, or would you pick somebody else?
Where did he have Banks going? To Vegas?
Yeah, to Vegas.
Yeah, so in that case, I'd be perfectly content with Mike Green at 10. That's simple for me. I'm not drafting a fucking tight end at 10 overall. I'm a Loveland guy over Tyler Warren anyway, and I'm not taking either of them at number 10. No fucking way. I love it when people say, winning organizations go get their guy. Winning organizations coming off. We're not a winning organization, first off. So let's start there. We won 5 fucking games. And you're going to come off of a 5-win season and draft a fucking tight end at 10? Stop. It's bad business.
What do you say to the Bears think their roster is better than most people perceive?
That's fine.
So they could feel like they could trade up and use some of
Yeah,
those
they
picks.
put that. Phil, have you ever? It's very rare for a GM or assistant GM or a player to come out and say, you know what? Our roster is actually horrible. And I think that the Bears roster is better than given credit for overall, but they still don't have enough. They don't have enough. They don't have any dogs on their team in 2024. You go out and you get Tooney. You're chipping away and adding some guys that can bring you some respectability and that are going to speak up in the locker room and stuff like that. And that's what you need. Tyler Warren, he's a good player. I get it. But dude, I will be disappointed in Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles if that is the move at 10. I'm sorry. That's not dictating games the way that a pass rusher can or a franchise offensive lineman.
In this case, it makes me say, okay, I'm okay with them getting Genty, trading up. But that's where I stand on it. I know Kerry Franklin enjoyed last night's deduction and pulling back these layers on it.
Yeah.
And I think it was important that you talk about it as you get ready for what is a waiting game. I don't see the trade up for Abdul Carter.
Well, yeah, Phil, neither one of us have Abdul Carter as the top pass rusher. There's question marks there. And I don't give a shit what the consensus is from Mel Kiper Jr. or Todd McShay. Todd McShay just outed himself more over the past 5 or 6 days when he's saying, the Bears, I think that the Bears have Loveland as tight end number 1 on their board, and they could take him at 10, and it would be fantastic. I'd be so excited. And then turns around yesterday and goes on his show, and he's talking about, the Bears are going to have Warren and Genty both available at 10. Can you even believe it? So he shifted, and it's all for clicks. That's what it's for. It's for clicks and attention. Diana Rossini comes out today and says that George Kittle wasn't at Niners workouts because of a contract dispute. George Kittle quote tweets it and said, "Your source is misinformed." So all of these people out there are just putting this shit out there, and it's crazy. That's why I'm not going to be surprised tomorrow night if we get to the draft and it's chalk. And people are like, "Wow, I was expecting fireworks and, somebody going at number 5 overall that I didn't expect whatsoever." And I wouldn't be shocked at all. I just think it's a lot of hype. Fans, everybody, you have fatigue from this. You're like, can we just get the fucking draft here? Let's go. We've been analyzing and overanalyzing this forever. And
Yeah,
so they act on that. Yeah.
You get a lot of phonies out there just regurgitating what it is they think they know or what they think they think. A lot of blog boys come out of the trees and the forests with their hot takes.
Yeah.
You got the clown show posse of people that don't watch tape. Why did you think that way about Kelvin Banks? How many games did you watch? 3, 1 or 2.
Oh, I
None.
watched him in the SEC title game.
None.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, bud. Not Braggs, by the way.
You didn't watch him shit because he wasn't in the SEC title game.
Exactly.
So that's where you can't trust people. Even me and Steve were going back. Someone sent me Brandon Thorne's breakdown of Kelvin Banks. It's not even real. It's so soft and ridiculous that none of that exists. But the reality of where they want to make people think this stuff.
Right.
I don't know if you're trying to help your buddy that wants him to drop or wants public perception to be a certain way that affects the fucking ownership or whatever it is. We're not into that, bro. We're not. I'll sit with anybody. I've invited Jacob Infante, ask this fucking clown Stank Frank. I get them on. I will talk with them. Let's watch some tape and see where you're coming from. Like, are you so biased? I can show you in front of an audience why I don't believe in Membu. Why I think it's hilarious that no one was talking about Membu until he had this amazing combine. Now, where they talk, Phil, they were. There's really no. Shane uncovers Duke Mayweather represents Membu, so of course he's going to talk badly about Banks because he's
Will Campbell.
Of course, he's going to push a player away from the guys that are hit. Then you're not authentic. Do me a favor. Shut up. You can't speak on that. Your bias is there. And it's all over the place. At TTNL, you can hate us, but it's a real what we say, a real odd or strange day when someone goes out of their way to shout out TTNL on those other micro pods and all of these other people. We had a clown ass old man trying to manipulate his story about on the old network. No, you wanted Jamal Adams. You didn't want Patrick Mahomes. You thought Patrick Mahomes was good. Shane sent me the clip. I'll keep it 100. I had Mr. Deshaun Watson number 1 and Patrick Mahomes number 2. But we all were in unison, and I think the whole fucking universe was that the Chicago Bears needed a quarterback. I think everybody on the fucking face of the planet knew they needed a quarterback. And all you can do, just like tomorrow, is have faith in the GM to get it fucking right. And Ryan Pace got it wrong. Not me. Not Shane. Ryan Pace got it wrong. And I will say this. I'm listening to Mel fucking Kiper. Him lying out of his ass too. Taking a shot. This is the authenticity where Shane goes, you know what? I had Deshaun Kaiser. I was wrong about that. I'll go. I thought Johnny Manziel was going to be better.
To my credit, I got to own up to one more thing. Yes, I was on Deshaun Kaiser, but I was willing to wait for Kaiser into round 2 because I expected him to drop, which he did. Cleveland just took him. But anyways, I digress.
So Mel Kiper goes on his last show, whatever the show was, because I listened to it at the gym because it motivates me. And Mel Kiper takes a shot at the Bears. I mean, look at Mitch Trubisky. The Bears traded up for Mitch Trubisky. Who had Mitch Trubisky? You did, Mel. You had him number 1 on your list. You. Same with Ryan Pace. But you're going to sit on a fucking show and not own. You know what? I had Mitch Trubisky too. That's the level of where we are in this fucking world. Of football analysts and phony fucks all over the place. To the extent where Mel Kiper's got to manipulate truth. It's so disappointing. Then I got to see the manipulation of truth on prospects. Nobody can show me a Marion Hampton tape and say it's better than Cam Scatterbo. You can't. Any coach I challenge any fucking coach in any level to put their 2 tapes up and show, okay, this is why a Marion Hampton's better. It doesn't work. It's impossible because the tape shows it's not even in the same ballpark. So why are we talking about a Marion Hampton? Let's peel back the onions on that. What is a Marion Hampton? Fast. He timed well at the combine. What else did he do?
Yeah, and it's the thing though. It just goes down, Phil. You know, I know Hoodie is a Omarion Hampton fan, and I'm not just agreeing with Matt Waldman to agree with him. Matt Waldman has him as RB10. He's nowhere near my top 5. I wouldn't draft it. I'm not drafting Omarion Hampton at 39 or 41.
How is he quoting you, Shane? He wasn't even in that text thread.
Who?
Chubbs.
Oh, yeah.
Your exact quote the other day.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of nerds and virgins in the mock draft world. I was someone sent me a tape breakdown of my guy Darius Alexander. Like, look at this guy.
Ooh, there is a hot rumor out there about him, by the way.
He's like, I look at his first step, and you gotta enjoy his quickness, speed. I'm like, people are watching this. I'm like, oh my god. Oh
so
there's
everybody,
a hot rumor.
Everybody can write this one down. So, yes, word on the street.
Oh boy,
the rumor street. No, I don't know how valid it is, but Darius Alexander to Dallas at number 44.
How about this? Darius Alexander to the Bears at 39. That's my hot rumor. Speaking of hot rumors. This one. This is my analysis. He looks like a guard.
Brugler.
Sounds like fucking Art Best circa 1994. Good analysis, buddy.
Tanner.
Tell you what, he's 6'5", 315 pounds. Looks like a guard.
Speaking of nerds, Phil, our green room's getting kind of
except we know this fucking guy's not a virgin.
He ain't no virgin, right?
That's right.
This dude's
got a lot of kids.
Dude's been dropping loads since 95 when we met him,
it's
Phil.
Just so slick and skinny in a hole.
Yeah. That was the name of Carr's first album, by the way. So slick and skinny in a hole.
Nerd alert!
He had the bagpipes in the background with the old school boom bap beat. Gotta love him.
Gotta love him.
Do you have an intro for him?
You just played it. That's usually how I bring my guy out.
That was Ivan, the super producer.
Is he super producing anymore?
I don't know. Let's bring him out.
Bring him out.
Usually you bring him out. So look, we got to figure this out.
We'll clean this up in post.
We can
Don't
bring him
worry.
out this way. We can bring him out this way. Everybody agrees with us.
Fuck you, Bullets.
Cars is here.
Guys, you're reminding me of when I lost my virginity and I was all alone. I was so scared.
He had to wash his hands after and everything. It was crazy.
Y'all booted me off and I couldn't even say hi to Cars.
That wasn't me. That was Ivan, the super producer.
Listen, Steph said hi. You got the
Total
important.
lies. Total lies.
He's producing a show tonight.
Yeah.
Hi, Cars.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Also, not a virgin.
No.
I have no idea. This is I think I'm connected to the wrong show here for some reason.
Speaking of virgins,
we're doing all the greatest hits.
Of
I'm so proud of it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go.
Not all of them.
don't want to get things. That wasn't me, Cherie.
Oh, he is the super producer.
Ivan, I'm gonna get you for that.
This
Bye.
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 Bringing it all back.
Yeah. That was in the way back machine. Cherie probably doesn't even know what that means.
I know. She stumbled upon a landmine,
Yeah.
a Canadian one.
Cherie went up to the 24th floor for that one.
Our super producer doesn't compare Deshaun Watson to Matt Leinart. That's a true story.
No, he's the only comparison really is probably closer to Bill Cosby, but that's probably another whole situation there.
Well, so Cars, where is your nervousness level on this Cars annual 1.0 mock draft?
You know, there's not a lot. It's going to be minus trading up. There's about 30 different directions they can go that I can understand it. I think if it's a cornerback or a linebacker, like not a pass rushing linebacker, if it just a standard one, I can't get behind that, but or a safety at this point. But anybody else
Or tight end.
Well, I can at least talk myself into it because I think we can all admit, as much as Tyler Warren isn't Brock Bowers, he still is an improvement over Cole Kmet, because I think at this point we're still talking about, hey, if Cole just hits that next level, and I feel like we've been saying that for 3 years now.
He's on the Justin Fields roller coaster.
You guys just wait till he gets on team number 4, maybe 5. It's going to unlock him.
Listen, what bad stories have you learned about anybody that went to the New York Jets and didn't turn their career around, right?
Yeah. How many players have left the Pittsburgh Steelers to turn their career around with the Jets?
You could just leave the Steelers out. How many people have gone to the Jets and found themselves?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
exactly.
Nope.
Yeah, it's, and even if they trade up, like in a trade up, that is my least favorite scenario right now. But if you trade up for Jetty, like, I get it, right? Like, I can understand the why, while it might not be a move it may not be a move that I love, but I do understand offensively there are 2 people that move the needle in this draft, and it's Hunter and Genty.
But so let me ask you this though: let's just say that Jacksonville has decided that they're going to take Genty, so now you got to go to 4. and it's going to cost you your two twos. There's no, I don't, I'm just
not giving up their 2-2s.
I'm
They
sitting
would
at
give
10.
up a next year's pick.
I'm sitting at 10.
And a
And
2.
worst case, you got to check obviously the background on Mike Green and see that checks out. But I feel confident at the end of the day that one of these guys is going to fall into my lap. And to me, again, to repeat myself, and Cars, you've heard me say it 100 times too, Mason Graham. I feel like I always thought the Jacksonville stuff was smoke, and now it seems like that they're going to go offense. Maybe there's an outside shot that the Raiders do it, maybe Carolina, but I don't see it. I see him staring Chicago straight in the face, and I'm not moving any picks to go up in this draft. That's just me though.
I'm moving back, if anything. There's not,
Yeah.
Like this draft is crazy to me because we're sitting here talking about, hey, this guy flashed, right? This guy showed this. I like the idea of Mykel Williams, but you can't tell me like that he's a for sure thing with medicals and the lack of production. Like I still can't believe that we're sitting here talking about Stewart from Texas A&M as someone that's going to go top 15. Like, in what world does a guy that gets 4.5 sacks but looks like, because he looks like Myles Garrett, so we're going to draft him?
That's the thing,
super high?
everybody says you got to hope that he's Danielle Hunter. Hunter went in the 3rd round. You're talking top 15. Like Jeremiah has him, I think, going to Philly maybe at 32, or somebody did anyway. But even then, man, 4.5 sacks in your collegiate career, that's an issue.
So there's not a nervousness. I think the only nervousness is that they would try to move up to number 4 with 2 second-round picks, right? Like, I understand if you move one of them. I don't want to do it, but I understand. But you can't, in no circumstances can you give up 2 second-round picks and screw your depth up for this year to go do it.
So this is an interesting one here, and I know, Derek
agree.
is a name, but Tony Pauline has come out and said that there's a lot of concern within the NFL, and he's expected if medical red flags with Harmon that are showing up, and people within the NFL said without those red flags medically, he would have been a top 12 lock.
Yeah, he's
in this draft, but the medical red flags are expected to push him down. And that came from Tony Pauline today.
Tony Pauline, all these guys, they have their guy in the NFL, and the GM tells them to put something out there, so it gets. That's what you gotta, especially the day before the draft.
Oh, it's
very, very. Look what I mean. There's no better example than the fucking scuba mask, but those things are happening daily here to try to jockey for position.
This will only relay to the 2 other people on the screen, but it was like back in the forum days when Wolfie talked about the Jerry Angelo smoke screen, right? And he's like wearing a Notre Dame helmet, and he's carrying 6 different flags for other universities while wearing a t-shirt for one. Like, if you read the reports, after pick 3, everybody is trading out 4, 5, 6, and 7. And everybody from 8 to 32 is trying to trade up, all for Ashton Genty. Like, that is basically every report. The people in the top 7 don't want to be there, and everybody else wants to be in the top 7. It's not realistic.
And Flex, I wasn't implying that Tony Pauline has his own doctors. It would be no different than Adam Schefter or Daniel Jeremiah saying that. That's the business that he's in, and that's what he's hearing, is that the medicals are expected to push him down.
Didn't we hear that about the Michigan tight end as well? Colston, wasn't that another one that?
Yeah.
Like Loveland,
he's been nicked up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming off. He came off an injury.
Yeah.
So, listen. I I can see an understanding because I put a priority on the run game. That walks step for step with Ben Johnson. So when you build an interior of the offensive line and you identify a blue chip player in Ashton Genty, who is going to give you more chances to score because he's going to move the chains. He's a tackle breaker. That's why when I watch Amari in Hampton, he's a big play maybe. But
Yep.
75% of the time, he's getting knocked down on first contact. Those guys don't make it in the NFL. They just don't. So same thing with Scatterboo. He's a move the chains guy. He's going to give everything he has. You can argue all you want, but this is a cyclical league. Running game is now, it's coming back. Yeah, because you got to run the ball. Again, a lot of young quarterbacks coming in the league. You got to be able to run the ball. It helps open up the pass.
He's a great pass catch. Like, one of the things that's really underrated about Genty is he's really good in the pass game. Like, didn't get a whole lot to show there, but this isn't like you're drafting a guy who's just going to run the ball and be one of those one-dimensional guys, right? Like Anthony Thomas used to be, right? Where he's a really good runner, but he doesn't give you anything else. There's a lot of value in that. And he's a different type of back from Swift. So you're going to get a whole different physical profile that makes Swift so much more effective if he doesn't have to be the one taking a beating every, for 2 downs before they bring in somebody else.
The other thing is, like, this is a fantasy football world. So,
yep.
As a coach, Cars, I just know 2nd and 4 is so much better for me as a play caller.
Oh, yeah.
Than 2nd and 8.
And what has our offense been stuck in for the last 20? Yeah.
2nd 13. Yeah.
Listen, this kind of guy at Boise State, a lot of people, who did Boise play? Well, they played Oregon with Derek Harmon. Go watch Genty run versus Oregon. They play big time football. And guess what? Everybody stacks the box to stop Boise. And when you have this kind of burst and contact balance like this, it's just on a different level. And I can say that I could be willing to trade up and give away my 10th and one of the seconds and a future pick to secure that for my football team.
When you say the future pick, though, I mean, see, you're getting
around next year. Go ahead. There you go.
No fucking way.
Yeah,
next year, sure.
Yes,
because in the reason, but all those years ago, did we use that story of, well, who did he play for Marshall Faulk at San Diego State? Did we use this for Tomlinson at TCU? No, we didn't, because the talent shows. It's one thing to be like, look at him, he was better than everybody else. Motherfucker got 1,000 yards before he had 100 carries. That's not just like slightly dominating a game.
Yeah. I'm not bashing the guy's talent at all. I just, in the way that this draft is constructed, I'm not giving up any picks to go up, man. I'm not.
Well,
I would be ecstatic. I would be happy that they did it. He's my number 1 player in the whole draft. How could I be a hypocrite? Same with you, Shane. He's
my number
1 player.
He is, because
so why would you give up?
Because of the position, Phil. Who's the last running back?
I don't agree with the position.
There's not even a history there.
Well, the one counter to it is always, there's only, in the modern draft era, there's only been one running back drafted in the top 10 that has made a Super Bowl with the team that's drafted him, and that was Todd Gurley with the Rams.
Right, and he wasn't normal Todd Gurley.
A shell at that point. And I understand that it's a cocky move, but the way that I look at it, and I think some of the tea leaves we've got to look into it is, I think we all get the sense that Cunningham and Poles and the rest of the organization really thought that they had the talent to win a hell of a lot more games than they did last year. And so they look at this, that we were not, a 13, or 12 loss team last year. We were a poorly coached team that caused us to lose that amount of games.
But just like Steve's, put that comment back up there for Steve. And again, I'm not trying to shit on Ash and Genty, but if we took a poll in 2015, right after the Bears drafted at number 7, everybody would have said we had a star at wide receiver for the next 10 years in Kevin White. And
yeah.
If you this dude, Ashton Genty, has to be a top 3 back in the league.
What do you mean, Kevin White, a star? What do
But
you?
He said that we don't need good players, we need stars.
But Kevin White wasn't considered to be the blue chip prospect that Genty is. So I get the point.
But you get my point of what I'm just talking about from a fan perspective. Everybody thought that with the Bears had their wide receiver 1 for the next 10, or let's say 8 years or whatever. But there's no way in hell, the way that this draft is set up, that I could give up those other assets, those swings at the bat, for a running back. Just no way.
This guy's a different running back. That's where it's at for me.
So again, it's not one of those things that
he's out running safeties and corners with ankles. So it's like, and he's got the burst, and he's got the contact balance, and he has hands, like Cars was saying. So he's got everything. That's why I don't know. Sometimes I'm with. I can go.
Can you throw up Keith's comment though? Because Keith Shoemaker.
Sure.
Because I think this is the problem though, is and I think it kind of ties into Phil's point. There are 2 stars, 3 stars supposedly in this draft, and that is Hunter, Genty, and Abdul Carter. For most people, those are your stars. But everywhere else across that line, I like Mike Green. There are concerns. I like, James Pierce is supposedly a problem in the locker room. You've got Mykel Williams, who is all leadership, all traits.
I think Mykel Williams gets a bad rap because of what Shane was saying.
Yeah, it's
the limit. Watching their tape, cutting up their tape for our patrons. 100% out of 100%, the most frustrating to cut, because he's in one play, he's out the next play.
But it's
for
not
a series,
3 more plays,
or for a series,
for a whole series.
But it's not that. It's the fact of who is a star? I get the point that we want to sit down and say, I want to go get a star on defense because we don't have them. To be honest, I'm not that sold on Abdul Carter overall either. This is a star. This is a draft that doesn't have a lot of stars. This has a lot of potential in that area, and you're talking about players developing, but there's not a star in that defensive line. I like Mason Graham, but you can't guarantee that kid is going to be a star. Like the true blue chippers to me are Hunter and Genty, and so if you've got a chance to get one of those, while I personally wouldn't do it, I can understand why they would go make that move. And at some point, I get the defense has some holes, but this is you gotta build that offense. You have to. This is the time to do it.
So if you make the move, you got to go to it. Either Jacksonville's going to be on the clock, and you're talking to Jacksonville, and they're not really going to take Genty, so you can go there. But Phil, would you be if you're on the phone with New England and
they have a deal in place,
and you have intel
already?
You have intel that Genty is going to be going to Jacksonville if he's available at 5, and New England you're on the phone with New England, and they're demanding 39 and 41 for 10.
They're not getting 39 and 41. They're getting
That's what
10,
Jacksonville thinks they're getting.
41, and you're getting my second round pick next year. I'll make that up. I'll make it a priority because I'm going to say, listen, I need this running back. That's how I would handle it. I have Banks as a blue chip football player in this draft. I believe what the tape tells me. Again,
so what would be going through your mind if you gave up 41 and a 2 next year, and then at number 10, New England drops down and drafts Kelvin Banks at 10?
I would say, fuck, but I got my guy. I mean, you have no regrets. Can't have regrets. I'm going up for that reason. My coach,
no, I get it. If you do it, you do it, and then
my coach wants that running back.
I can't do it for running back.
This is not just any other guy, though.
I'm not saying that he is. He's good. He's the
number
know myself,
one player in the draft,
do it
without a doubt for me.
You do.
And Mike Green is a blue chip player too.
But you make this move like if you think you're farther along, right? If you think you are, there.
Like if you're Kansas, so there's a rumor out there that Kansas City wants to make a move for Travion Henderson. That was a rumor that I read today.
What did you say? I'm sorry. Kansas City wants to trade up
for Travion Henderson to bring more explosiveness to their backfield. And again, that's obviously we know where they need help on the offensive line. So that about it bullshit too. But you're a 5-win team, and I think Cars hit the nail on the head. You're not there yet.
I think he may. Running game destroys people. I'm just saying, it's the most overlooked thing in the NFL.
Look what happens to Jared Goff when they cannot run the ball. Look what happens to Jalen Hurts when he cannot run the ball. Look at what happens to Patrick Mahomes when they have no run game. What elevated Josh Allen this past couple seasons, right? The run game. So there is there.
But their run game wasn't into the top 5 and throwing away premium assets for the running back either. Who says we can't have an elite running game by taking it back at 39 or 41 or even 72? Are you telling me if we come away with, are you telling me that if we draft Caleb Johnson at 41 that we can't have an elite running game? We can.
If they did it, you're going to be unhappy.
If they give 2 2s to go up for a running back, I'm going to be furious.
No, not for a running back, for Ashton Genty.
Yes,
that's the difference. I wouldn't.
2 second
I'd be
round
like,
picks.
They understand.
No, I don't want to give up 1 for a running back.
I was just going to say I don't want to give up a pick. Period. I'm not entertained by jumping up to draft Carter. I'm not entertained by jumping up to draft the Genty. No way should the Bears be entertaining that thought, because if this was any other draft, right? If this wasn't such a deep running back draft, and you have a generational talent or whatever you want to call it, Ashton Genty, then okay, I understand it. But I understand the move.
Yeah.
But you have a pool of players who
are you winning with on this defensive line?
Exactly.
There's question marks with Montez Sweat and everybody.
If you're taking Banks, you're not winning on the D line.
Huh?
You're saying
no, but you're also removing your ability to take anybody in the second round.
Exactly.
Then they go and take a fucking corner. That's why I'm like, if you identify, that's why I don't agree with Ivan. If they've identified this as the blue chip player, you get the star. I see it. He is up on that level for me. And I don't know how. I'm trying to understand if you have him as the best player in the draft, how you can't.
Because of the position.
See, you devalue running back. I don't think that's the right.
Because I feel like
hold on, Shane. It's not a devalue of the running back. The position is extremely important.
Right.
But it's from a committee perspective. What made Detroit so good wasn't David Montgomery. It was David Montgomery with Jahmyr Gibbs. what makes a lot of these teams so good is the way that they're splitting carries, changing the type of back from your power back to your speed back. The position itself is extremely important, but if we want to take the alternate route, right, who's been one of the most dominant running backs over the last decade? It's Derrick Henry, right?
Yeah.
Bar none, dominant. What does that mean? It hasn't gone into anything for the teams that he's played for. And that's kind of the problem. Saquon is obviously this year a difference.
How many games would the New York Giants have won last year?
Saquon won them the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah,
so
but
at
Phil,
that level,
they
and
also could
the
have went to the Super Bowl
and the
without
Shield.
Saquon and
But I
another
don't
But
running
he
back.
was but
I
he
don't
was a
know.
free agent addition that didn't cost
I'm
them
just saying
anything
of
other. Yeah, no, it's
position.
It correct. There's importance in the position from a committee perspective, unless you get that person there. But you need to have there. Philly makes it work because their offensive line is ridiculous. Detroit makes it work because their offensive line is very good. The offensive line is going to be significantly better this year. I think
better coach.
It's going to be better coach. It's going to be scheme player. And so that's again why I will understand trading up and moving for running back. If it's 1 second-round pick, I'm not going to love it, but I'll take it. If it's 2 second-round picks, I hate that instantly because to Shane's point, there are still other holes. And
you don't do it if you're trying to get 39, 41. No, it's refused. It's 41 or 39 and next year's second. That's more than enough to get this deal done. You do not give up those two. That's where I agree with Shane. You don't give them up this year. I can make up that 2 next year. I got to address this asshat. Because it just, what fucking psychic book are you fucking tarot reading?
What it means is Creighton just doesn't like Genty. I mean,
Stop, Creighton. It's the dumbest shit you said since you talked about Kelvin Banks the way you did. It's dumb. You know he's a 1 contract player. Guess what? We'll put the fucking franchise tag on you. Stop.
No, I think he means more that the guy isn't going to be good enough to even get a second contract.
Right.
That's what he's trying to say in that. Wow.
Yeah, and it's
about the
and Phil, I'm not devaluing the running game. I mean, I could turn it around on you and say you're devaluing this running back class. Also,
I put him above them. That's why.
Phil, so let's just say that the Bears draft Caleb.
You asked me this.
Yeah, go ahead.
One other thing. David Montgomery. He was my number 1 back in that draft. He went in the 3rd round. What David Montgomery doesn't have that this dude has on tape is the breakaway speed and burst. Like a lot of people, Mr. Amarian Hampton has speed. He has no burst. He has no third gear.
That's why they went out and got Gibbs.
This fucking dude, I mean, he is a bowling ball of butcher knives at the line, and then he has a fucking burst. That's why I could say he is better than all of the other backs in the draft.
I agree. I think he is.
I can swing for the back. I know the. We asked Matt Waldman, Shane, rank the Bears running back out of 10.
Yeah, we know
4.
That. Right.
A 4.
Phil, can you make the playoffs with Caleb Johnson at running back?
Yeah, I like Caleb Johnson 100%. I like Cam Scatteraboo better.
Right.
You can make it with him.
Right. That's my point.
But Genty's better than Scatteraboo.
Can you make it with
But
out of decent?
Are we going to make it with? Okay, we don't trade up for Genty. I'm saying I don't know if I would do it. I'm saying if they did it, I get it 100%. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I can do it for what I gave you based on the talent. This year's second, whether it be 39, they want 39. I'll offer 41 in next year's second. No, we want 2 to no. All right, then I'll give you 39 in next year's second, and that's the deal.
I wouldn't give up two twos like
this year's 2 twos.
I wouldn't do it
At
period.
all,
Like
man.
it's
I'm not
a
giving
single.
up 1 2.
If you
I give
again,
it up. I'm getting the guy if I want him. That's how I would do it, and plan on making a trade down next year to pick up another 2 to replace it, to recoup
Yeah,
it.
but you don't even know. You don't even know who's available, and I mean, you could plan on that, but you don't know.
Just plan on it.
You could be making a playoff run, and a superstar becomes available for a second round pick that can put you over the hump, and you don't have it.
I hate the what if game.
Right, but that's what I'm.
just play
That's
with the
what, well,
cards.
the NFL draft is the ultimate
That's
what
all
if
it
game.
is.
No,
Listen.
it's the old Family Guy, right? Where they go to the stupid timeshare meeting to get a boat, and then they get to the end, and Peter's like, "You can get the boat, or you can get it in what's in the box." And Peter goes, "I mean, the boat's a boat, but the box could be anything. It could even be a boat. Let's go for the box." You're like, just pick the. There is a level, and we've
A sure thing.
we've
Right.
seen that issue with last year. It took Ian Cunningham. Sorry, it took Ian Cunningham to make Ryan Poles not trade up for Rome, right?
Yeah, and I went back and watched it because one of the patrons brought it up today, and I went back and watched that again just to see. Going into it with the mindset that I had on that, if you go back and watch that, I think the whole thing that Ryan Poles was dead set on going up for Rome, I just think it was more nervous chatter. I don't think that they were ever close to consummating a deal, and Ian Cunningham's diving on the phone saying, "No, man, you can't do this." I just think he wanted his guy, and it's that nervous chatter, especially when you're getting close and you're like, "I want this guy," but
right.
Where was the
1 second? Here's
well,
where
answer this, Phil. Would you rather have your
hypothetical? I would rather have Banks and Scatterboo because I knew I was getting Banks. But tomorrow night, do I know we're getting Banks? Don't know. So this is why I'm saying I answered this question, right? I'll go back and say it again. I would take Banks and Scatterboo. I've done this mock. I've taken Banks, Darius Alexander, and Scatterboo. Those are my circled players that I believe are blue starters. I believe that in Scatterboo. I think he's on a different level. That's what the tape shows me. So, yeah, we can make a case there. But if I'm at 10 and the 5 is I am going to miss out on Banks or Will Campbell.
But you're not going to know that, just like what you're saying. If you're moving to 5, you're not going to know who you're going to miss.
They have their ways of knowing.
They might know. They don't know. No, nobody. They didn't know. You saw his reaction when Penix went 8 last year.
That's one of the best curveballs we've had in recent.
Yeah, it just nobody. There's no blueprint to this.
All right, Creighton. Here comes Creighton Wilfong. Traylon Burks still has burst, Creighton. Now he needs a quarterback to get him the fucking football.
He needs hands, and he's needs
got to
better
get
routes.
his hands better.
But he has
burst. So
that's my least favorite thing about draft time. It's like, well, you were wrong here. Well, if the second you're wrong about a player, you can't talk anymore about it, then there's nobody left talking about football anymore.
Talk to me about Traylon Burks after he gets a quarterback. Then we'll talk about Traylon Burks. But what is his year 2 for
4?
him? It's his 4th year?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was the year that
they flying by.
They drafted him when they traded AJ Brown to Philly.
Yep. That was the move.
Right. That's right. That was 4 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
There's also been rumors that Burks.
I'm waiting for the Creighton Wilfong show so we can fucking see what you say, Creighton. Because you're such a fucking great evaluator, Creighton.
Well, it's just
your face to it.
It just gets ridiculous. Everyone's going to be wrong. It's going to happen.
100%.
But you could be right about traits and things of what happens, and it doesn't work out for a lot of different
People get
reasons.
injured. People don't get along with coaches or the culture. Rookies get picked on so much so. No, I'm telling you, start your show. Show us you can break down film. All I see you doing is the old man on the lawn. You're just a complainer. That's sad. I don't want to live in that world. I stand in front of an audience and put my fucking face to it while I break it down. I don't know. I've never, Shane, have you seen Creighton's breakdown?
No, I just think everybody's in gotcha mode. Everybody has.
You're
swings,
jealous of me, Creighton.
everybody
I get
has
it.
hits. Everybody has
softest puppy shit.
I mean,
you
if
get it.
Let's be honest. If you're bringing up Treylon Burks' burst, then you have some sort of a vendetta. Obviously, I mean, well, whatever. I also don't give a shit.
Creighton, you're here listening.
Just move on. Let's just move on. This isn't.
Hi, Creighton. You're in
doesn't-
the audience. No,
doesn't-
Cards. You have to grade this answer to the question.
It-
Bill, I can't listen when you decide. Well, you're here listening now, bro. So burst your ass right and back in your seat. Thanks for watching. Jesus Christ.
And we're back.
I remember that day when I wore two different socks in 2003 cars. Because cars told me I was wearing the two different socks.
I don't remember anything that happened in 2023. So,
yeah.
Hi, other Creighton here.
That's Ryan put up the quote. That was Creighton.
Oh, he struggles against length.
But anyways, let's
show us the film, Creighton.
Let's get our guy ready for the mock draft so he can draft.
God,
Cars is going to give up two.
I don't want to confuse Creightons because we have a good Creighton here. Hi, other Creighton.
It's all good.
Would you trade Dexter and Stevenson and even Pickens? I'll throw in
Jones isn't even on the roster.
Poles has had some good picks, Gordon and Brisker, kind of. I don't trust Poles. You don't have to trust Poles, and thank you for your super chat.
Yeah, but I think what he's saying, he's just saying that it's, all right, he had guys that haven't lived up to their potential yet. Pickens, I don't think ever will, but it's just one of those. You can't look at it that way either. Oh, he missed on second round pick before, so he's going to miss on every second round pick. Maybe you're trading away Kyler Gordon, right? Guess where he was drafted? Second round. So there's a yin to the yang in all of this. So you can turn it around.
But I also don't hate the second round picks that Poles has done. Like I get Tyreek looked really well, and I think hard coaching is going to change that around. But if you're looking at Gordon, Brisker, Dexter, Stevenson, like those have been solid picks. Maybe they haven't been spectacular, but all of those guys have been rotational. All of them, a lot of them have started. Like once you get past round 2, once you get past round 3, it starts to get really dicey. And so it's like your hit percentage goes way down. And the chances of finding a stud round 3, 4, 5, 6, it just continues to go down. I don't hate what he's done in round 2, though.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Struggles against length.
And here's some more breaking news.
What a dumb
Gervon Dexter's story has not been written yet.
I did not like the Gervon Dexter.
Yeah, we talked about it, but
I thought he stood up.
He's got to be
a burst. I thought he struggled against length. It's great, but he's got to get better. But he surprised me.
He took a step last year.
He took a step. Then it kind of like, but can we blame him? Don't run your mouth and think that I'm not going to call you out or Shane is going to call you out. Like, It's gonna happen.
Creighton, we broke it down and showed.
Oh my
It's
God,
just
Creighton.
you're fucking stat scouting, bro. It's just whatever. It is what it
Take
is.
your little-
Let's just be done.
Take his
It
thong.
It's fine.
Take the
It's fine.
thong
Creighton.
off. He is.
You're Creighton stat scouting. It's fine. It's good.
I do struggle against height. I've never had it.
Yes.
Cars had all my height.
Cars took it all.
Cars.
I did
took it all.
the trend today where I put the camera on my head and then look down at Steph so she sees what I see when I talk to her today. That did not go over really well.
Very sexy right now.
It's like, she's like, I look like I should be asking for uppa, like just carry me. So that was the fun one.
Is that what you call a grandparent?
An uppa? No, pick me up. Oh, sorry, Steph. I didn't realize you're still watching.
I got you.
All right. Do you want to get into this mock draft?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And should we?
We're gonna get into what fans don't understand is like debate is crucial to success.
It is. This is what draft rooms. Yeah.
Shane and
Happens
I
in
are going to
draft room.
debate.
Holy fuck.
I
we
didn't
won.
know where cars stood on Genty. I thought I was the only one willing. You heard Ivan, who's been wrong about everything, his number one tackle. What was the other thing he was terribly wrong about last night? Shane.
Who was it?
Ivan.
Oh, I can't remember. He did.
Remember he said something. I was like, what? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I can't remember.
But
You had me at Ivan is always wrong. That's for sure.
But he's not. I thought he was there to hear me so he could come in. But debate is keeping it 100. And if you're in the chat running game on things that aren't even true, then we're going to call you out. That's just what it is. But if you're going to say something nice, like Steph is, she's always watching with that eye, we're going to put up the nice quotes too, the nice comments.
All right, Cars, are you buckled in and ready to go? We're going to intro your live mock the only way we know
Shane,
how.
I did get a text from Ron G. He was a little fired up with our background usage.
There's so many. I didn't have anything to do with it, Ron. Anyways, let's do this.
First up, well, I believe that's Shane. Moving back in the draft and jumping up a house of pain. This sports fan makes moves, be choosing who's best. All the time, real life, confident and puffy chest. Dr. Phil food, cause you know we full state. And the lid's blown off like a team throwing eight. Think we would take a move to take back the fort. Driving better than the guy who promised up the north. Big seat before my alignment. The big man at the door, dominated on the field. His presence never marred. Probably has bias to the offensive line. Relentless in the trenches, the 10th pick with the fine. The next several seats, but I was up next. With or without the mustache, super producer flex. Cut to tape like a surgeon, the Puerto Rican boy, the hour. And we ain't gonna come to the like the city of the bottle.
It's a live mock show.
So let the big stretch and lift shade and build this to God hating.
The live mock show.
From the take never lies, when the bands took the dopes, then it's the bars.
It's a live mock show.
So let the big stretch and lift shade and build this to God hating.
The live mock show.
From the take never lies, when the bands took the dopes, and it's the bars.
Just like that, we're back.
Here he is, the guy that correctly predicted the trade.
Everybody's getting along now. We all love each other. Calvin Banks has fixed his
Creighton
link
has put in the
issues.
paperwork to change his name. The good Creighton.
All right, Cars, have you used this simulator that we've been using here lately?
Which one? Is it the one that you sent to the vaunted Cox and Cars?
I think so.
Chain? Yeah, I've used that one a few times.
What's your favorite one? Do you have a preference?
No, because I think this one, I find if you try to do a couple in a row, because you've got to do 6,000 of them and then post them all to Twitter and YouTube so that you could say that you're first against all of those players. I find this one, if you do a bunch, kind of gets locked in the players that it continually selects. But I feel like the trades are a little bit better than, PFN and some of those other ones out there.
Yeah.
So
Phil,
This
what?
channel does not hate rock and roll, Shane.
No, we don't.
People sent us the song, hip hop.
Yeah.
We will play if it's good. James Weston's supposed to be producing a rock open or some sort of
Right.
open. God.
Somebody text Ron G and let him know that this is Keeping It 100. This isn't our technically our draft coverage, so we're not in that brand. So I don't want to be on the hook for this.
You are so screwed. Let me tell you.
I tell you. All right, Cars, are you ready to make this happen? I'm assuming. Do you want to trade up, Cars? Do you want to?
No, because look, if for folks that aren't familiar, this is the way that I think that this is not. When I do this, this is not the way that I would do it. This is the way that I think the Bears would look at this. I still believe, and we've kind of talked a bit about this, Shane, that this is a lot of smoke and mirrors. Are the Bears calling about moving up? Sure, because I think in part it's to set value and try to get an understanding of what the teams above them have heard and their willingness to make a move, because that starts to help them narrow down who they think they're going to draft. If you remember the Rome pick, right? They were talking about who they had all believed were going to be the picks in between Caleb and Rome so that they get an understanding. So I think a lot of this is smokescreen. I just don't see trades happening inside the top 10. Once you get outside of here, moving up a few spots, sure, but I just don't see the move up happening.
I hope you're right. Fuck you, Phil. Anyways.
God. So good to be in this loving, warm, embracing environment.
Very nervous. Very, very nervous.
Oh, I'm nervous. I get nervous every draft, 100%.
I'm not that nervous right now.
All right, so
I'll be honest. I think we are way more likely when we get to 10 to trade down than we are to trade.
Really believe it.
Yeah, I do.
You're the GM now. Are you doing it as you?
Nope. As the Bears. As I think the
he's
Bears.
doing it as he's looking ahead. He's going to try to.
He's predicting.
Yes, he's white Ryan Poles tonight.
There you go.
Please don't flag. Please note
and
that
you
Shane
play
said
corner.
that and I didn't.
And you play corner. You might have a future in the. All right, so Cars, am I running this to 10?
Yes, you are, sir.
All right, so the 2025 NFL draft.
Can you make this? Can you make that bigger for me? Because I can only see
that was a direct quote from Steph, not to me. Cars knew that he stepped right into that one.
Oh, I totally did that for the reason that it came out. Absolutely.
Is that
clip that?
There we go. There we go.
I gotta make it smaller. For some reason I can't.
Yeah, I can't see any of the picks.
All I see is.
Oh no! It'll reshape once I hit start. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's get this going. We're gonna hit start here. All right, so we are ready to go. Let's run this.
Shane likes this mock simulator.
10.
Genty, go on.
Oh,
Membu.
All right, so let's.
Thank God for Membu being gone.
Run this back so everybody can. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter. So it's chalk 1, 2, 3. Chalk.
I think that's as locked as it's gonna get.
Jalen Walker. So Carolina moved up to 5.
They traded up.
Ashton Genty goes to Vegas. Mason Graham goes
the Jets
to the Jets. Jets. T-Mac. Don't call me Tet McMillan goes number 8 to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And then took T-Mac.
Armand Membu gets
thank God
taken off the board 1 pick before Chicago. And
the
Cars
line has been crossed, Cars.
You are on the board and you have 7 trade offers.
Let's look at them because again,
7 trade offers.
I think again, if you take into some of these considerations, we've heard a lot about Connerly for the Bears and their interest in that guy. Someone I think you could get later. So let's just see what we've got. All right,
so Baltimore is offering 27, 59, and 91 to come up to 10. Buffalo is offering number 30 and a future pick, obviously a future first-round pick for number 10. Cleveland is offering 33.
They need more than
Bunch of
that.
future first. Well, you can edit it. Indianapolis is offering 14 and 45 for number 10. I would be all over that one.
It's 123.
34 and a future first coming from the Giants could be a very high first if we're being honest. The Jets are offering 42 in future first and Philadelphia 32. I'm removing that from the screen right now because we are not trading with Philadelphia cars.
No, the move here though is exactly the one you highlighted, right?
Yep.
Is Indy at 14 and 45. The strength of this draft, we talked a little bit about those moves. If you're telling me now that I get 3 picks in the first 13 of round 2, where more of that value is, 100% of it, I'm taking that. I also look at this, and the way the draft is going, I don't expect Kelvin Banks to be available at 10 anyway, like just from a real life, from where everything's going. So that's why I would look at and make that move.
So, Phil, how do you feel about going from 10 to 14 and picking up number 45?
You saw Tate do something similar yesterday in the show. He went to 51, traded down, and got the 51st pick. With who's on the board? Banks is still available, correct?
Let's go back.
He
I
is.
believe you.
I do not expect him in real life to be there, though.
I would take Banks in this simulation and not take the trade down. Because I have Banks as a blue chip left tackle. I know Creighton thinks he struggles against length, but the tape shows the opposite. And when someone trips over his guard next to him because the guard steps on his foot, that kind of stuff happens in football.
All right, so we have 30 seconds on the clock. Are we consummating the deal with Indy?
Correct, we are.
All right.
And again, I'm only doing this because from everything we've read now, Kelvin Banks is on the Darnell Wright train, where if you started doing mocks shortly after the season, Banks was early round 2 and has now moved all the way up and would be more likely to pick there at number 6. No, Kelvin Banks was early mocks. You were early second round, late first round. Where you had
Colleen was talking about it being in consideration at 6 with Vegas.
No. Banks preseason, Mel Kiper had him as his 6th overall player.
At one point back in
Then
January, right?
January, he had him as his 10th overall player and number 1 tackle. How this transpired that he wasn't going into the season, he's the number 1 ranked tackle coming into the season.
Yep.
All right, so we ran it.
And he's
Calvin
still
Banks goes number
okay.
11. Tyler Warren, which I think is realistic for Indy that they would be coming up.
Yep.
Banks, Michael Williams goes to Dallas. Will Johnson goes to the Miami Dolphins. And now Chicago is back up on the clock. You do have 2 trade offers. We can look at them quick. Baltimore is back up, and Detroit. Baltimore is offering 27 and 59. Detroit 28 and 60.
I don't see a whole lot of value in those, to fall that point, and there's still going to be a significant amount of folks here. I'm probably leading at this point right now to look at Mr. Green for the edge position there.
All right, let me. Why isn't it not letting me select this?
You got to go to players up top.
There we go. Jesus, cars, I'm getting old.
Jesus. Scroll down. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Mike Green,
tight end.
Did you want to look at anything else? I mean,
you look at offensive tackle. There's not going to be someone right there that's gonna necessarily do it for me. But at that point, I'd be looking at Mike Green.
Could you be talking to anybody on the interior? I don't know how you are on. I know we brought up the potential medical red flags with Harmon. Not sure where you are on Grant.
I like Grant. I'm big on Walter Nolan from a talent and overall perspective, but I do worry a little bit about the the locker room and effort things. But I think with the right staff, Walter Nolan is someone who is going to be out of this world. But I mean, Mike Green is probably the most polished edge in this draft with moves and counter moves, and he's just a player to me that makes the most amount of sense at a position of need right now.
Best defensive player in the draft.
So are we?
In my opinion.
Are we
another
turning,
blue chip player here?
Are we turning the card in?
We are. Yes.
Mike Green is a Chicago Bear, and so Cars. Once this starts rolling, are you rolling to 39? Are you interested in any type of a trade up?
I would look at. No, actually, no, I would not. I think
we're going to run this to 39.
I want to say this before you go. So it's always been the holy trinity: quarterback, pass rusher, left tackle. These are the things that you need to win championships. The Bears have failed at quarterback for however long, right? Now they've traded for pass rushers. We can go down the list: Peppers, Agunlie, Gaines Adams, R.I.P. Philip Daniels. They've signed guys.
Sweat, yeah.
They have not drafted them. They've not drafted. And before we go, the Muffin Man can't stand in the way of a Mike Green. The talent of Mike Green, I'll say it again, is the best defensive player in this draft. It's just all over the tape.
Do you know the Muffin Man? But Phil, it's not just that he's such a great, he's got moves, he's got counter moves. He's also he's not one-dimensional. I don't worry at all about him setting an edge in the run game. This is not Austin Booker where you worry about him adding weight and having to learn a skill set there. Like, you want that skill set to develop. But I'm like, you look at this kid and from measurables and motor and effort and all of those things, you don't have any hesitation that a guy like this is going to give you everything he's got every day.
Right.
He plays
Mr. Englewood. That was in 2002. This is 2025.
In
the fourth round.
And I love Alex, but what was his career high? Was it 8 sacks? But for the most part, he averaged 6.5.
Yeah. You know who he is? He's going to be probably the guy that you just signed in terms of sack production.
Yeah.
I said it that day we broke him down, Shane, on our Patreon. Patrons went out there, quoted me saying, this is like Khalil Mack level of aggressiveness every down. And then Sports Mockery and some of these other blog boys ran with that like they do with Shane and Phil and Cars all the time. Yes, that kind of impact edge man with the same kind of motor a JJ Watt or a TJ Watt have. He might not have this motor that Mike Green has. So for me, it makes sense. As much as I want Banks, you fulfilled the higher piece of the puzzle. Is harder to find pass rushers than left tackles.
Unfortunately, we have to put this out there, guys. We don't have access to the off the field. We understand that there's questions. We're basing this solely on talent again. And I know Cars is doing it from the Bears perspective, and who knows if you're truly doing that, that might push Mike Green down for the Bears. Who knows? We know they've been, risk averse.
They gotta start. Shane, we said it on a patron show, so it's important that we say it here with Cars. This is the type of football player that the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Ravens get, and he becomes a 6-time all-pro name, and he has a great career because their locker room was strong. Their coach was a good person and a good leader. That's what football is. And if Ben Johnson is the guy, I believe he is, and you come in with this Dennis Allen, you need some fucking guys that aren't choir boys, Muffin Man. And
but you
Mike
also have
Green
Al
is
Harris,
an
right?
amazing one.
Yep.
You've got
Al Harris.
You've
Yes.
got a strong former player group in the locker room that's going to help. Like, you've got professionals in that locker room that are going to help.
I love
that means
the pick,
something.
man. I love the pick.
So I think there was some thinking maybe Cars was going to go with a Tyler Warren tonight. So I
thought he was.
It's a good pick by Cars, and there is some instant feedback with Cars making a good pick.
Mom told you to pick that, didn't she?
Oh.
So that was on Steph. Steph made that pick.
Of course, yes. Give all the credit. Steph, if you could just, Steph, just put in the chat where he played before Marshall, and then we'll take that.
He just texted me and said Virginia Cars.
Oh, yeah. No wonder Macy's your number one fan now. This is terrible.
I would never go. Look at Ohio State's on the board.
Greg Braggs is taking Tylee Williams.
All right, so the Bears and Cars are up again at number 39. See? She knows.
No, Steph mistyped vagina. She was thinking she was at work. That's what happened.
All right, Cars, so you're at number 39. What position group would you like to look at, sir? You do have 2 trade offers. We can look at those real quick. Buffalo is willing to give up 56 and 62. And Green Bay, which obviously we're not going to do a deal with, 54 and 87. That's the Buffalo deal is not bad, but yeah.
No, I like, again, part of the reason for pulling that Indy deal is this is the area of the draft that I like the most. You've got some players, that are a little different. And so I'd like to look at.
I know who I would take.
And who would that be? What white dude are you drafting right now?
Afton Chisholm, come on down.
He had his button on the guy that I probably would take.
Oh, Carson, yeah.
But there's another guy I would take, and he happens to be 6'7", 331 pounds, and ran a 5.0140.
So let's look at offensive tackle here for a second.
There you go. And there he is.
That's the guy. Absolutely. That's a guy. I don't know necessarily that he is starting day one.
Oh, he's starting, bro.
But he is starting during the season. I have that kind of confidence. You know what I mean? And so, Ursery is 100% the player that you draft here.
Coach O and myself and Big Steve. There was several players. There's a handful of players that we all got out of our seats for like, oh my God. Banks, Scattaboo, Genty, Mike Green, Ariante Ursery was one of those players.
George, this is what we're not trying to beat the simulator. We're not looking for a good grade from the simulator.
Is an actor in China. So
no, but
going by number code.
But I think again, I don't look at it. I don't look at their rankings much at all. Not that they're not
right. I don't either. Yeah,
either do I.
Yeah, well, I didn't even see what they gave. They probably gave your Mike Green one a fucking D.
Well, this will be even worse.
They do grade it.
Yeah, this will be even worse.
I go by my top 5.
No, Ursery. Look, Ursery to Phil's point, has every measurable that you want on the position with good tape. Not something that I sit down and worry about overall as a player.
George is taking it all serious now, Phil. He's in LA, bro. But anyways, so Cars, we did turn it in. It was another
2 picks later, right?
It was another good pick. So I'm gonna have to pause
That's
on
Macy's.
I'm gonna pause on my videos that I play because you made a
Two
Good pick.
solid picks.
Yes.
The
So you're
Bears
back
get.
up.
I will say this: if they do this draft, they've won already. Right then and there, those two players are culture changing, aggressive starters. I'm telling you right now, Ursery will start.
Are you interested in a trade down, Cars? Are you sitting and picking?
Sitting and picking.
All right. What
This is
position group do you want to look at?
What he does, because you do have a trade here that you
Yeah.
gathered another pick. So
And we've got 45, but this is
So
to
just to
me-
go over these real quick, 59
Yeah.
and 91, 49 and 81, 44 in the future, 48
Actually-
and 98, and 50 in the future.
All right, scroll back up. Never mind. That Cincy deal,
Yeah.
that's the one.
he's trading with his second or first favorite team.
My
What is
first
it?
favorite team. Yeah, I'm going to do the icky shuffle to turn in that trade card. Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Dude, I would
Still
be
there.
ecstatic with
Yes.
this draft so far.
All right. So the Bears are back up on the clock at pick number 45. The
So this
Cowboys
is-
took Travion
Cowboys took
Henderson,
Henderson.
Higgins,
I
Scorton.
love scoring. Thank
and
God.
Since he took Tyleek Williams.
Don't
and
see it
Greg,
in Tyleek Williams at all.
Greg Braggs is crying.
Tyleek is a third round pick. I don't see it.
He's a nice run stopper, sort of body guy, but yeah, he's not going to offer you a whole lot there.
The kid that offers you a lot, did he go, Shane, already?
What's that?
I'll let Cars do his thing.
Yeah.
Let's look at running back here for a second, if you wouldn't mind.
Yep. And just real quick, just so you know, you are at 45. So you have 45, 49, and
Nice.
72 and 81
Nice.
coming up. But this is the benefit if you can pull off a couple of nice trades where you can hit some solid doubles and maybe even slide in a triple in there. And that the Bears need that also. And Mike Green can be a fucking star. He can be.
Oh, no.
I called him the best player in the draft. Defensive player.
Right.
You're correct.
So, Cars, you want to look at running back?
Yes, please.
So you got your Caleb, Quinchon, Dylan Sampson, Cam, RJ Harvey, Rootin' Tootin'. You got the whole list there.
Who does he have at running back? I didn't see it.
Xavier
Caleb.
Watts is still there. We talked about Schwessinger is still there, which I think is he would be.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm a fan of later on of Paul Jr. I like the way that kid.
Oh, you mean the
plays.
guy that I drafted last night in Fight Night? Thank you, Cars. Anyways,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm
Back
here
to
for
you.
you. So listen again. Looking at this, I'm probably at this point. This is the area that I'm looking for a running back. I don't view necessarily that Travion Henderson is someone that the Bears would be 100% in on, just because there's so many similarities from
Okay,
a running style.
Can we hit pause there real quick?
Yeah.
So there is just because we're gonna put the rumors out there. There is a rumor
that the enemy loves him.
That if the Bears were to do a deal with, like, remember the Houston rumor was out there, maybe
Yep.
even Denver, that their target in a trade down would be running back Travion Henderson. That's been out there from more than a couple of people connected to the NFL. I don't want to give their names, but I just want to put that stuff out there.
It's an interesting one. I'm more in the Caleb Johnson type of, because he's so different of a running style.
Mhm.
And again, if you're trying to do those things, Henderson makes sense if you're going to add someone, like if you're going to go like Henderson and think that Roshan Johnson is going to be your change back. But this is also a place. Can you show me wide receiver for a second?
I certainly can.
See, I'm also someone that looks at Jalen Knoll here and goes different enough of a skill set that would be something that the Bears would play into.
So, Cars, you're smart enough to realize. So, that's why I kind of showed you your picks, because you're 45 and 49. So you have to play the poker game and say, all right, if you're that high on Noel, who do you feel like is going to have a bigger chance to make it to 49?
Yes.
Between him and I'm assuming the running back that you're choosing from is Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, so to me, I expect there to be around this part to be a run on running backs, especially the higher that Omarion Hampton goes that he doesn't deserve. The more likely some of these guys start. When we've seen it all the time, it's like a couple years ago when Texans and Philly overdrafted offensive linemen because there was that offensive line run in the middle of the first round. So I would look at this initially and say, I want to make sure that I get Caleb Johnson here because of the different running style that he has. And I think he's someone that would mix very well in with what the Bears are looking at.
Also drafted by me last night, by the way.
This is what you think polls will do.
I do. I think Caleb, I think wide receiver to this team is more of a need than they've shown, but I do think that they're looking for a different style runner, and Caleb and his success against 8 in the man boxes in Iowa when nobody else on that team was scared, was a threat. I think I look at that and I go, Caleb Johnson is the person.
Cars, who would be your next running back? Is it Judkins? Is your next
Judkins is my biggest concern and I've got a buddy here who's an alumni at Mississippi State or at Ole Miss that he was not very loved in that locker room. That was a bit of a personality, and that's part of why he wasn't still there. So that's part of that reason. But I love the skill set that Judkins brings.
So we're turning in the card for Caleb Johnson.
Can't talk you into Scatterbo, can I?
I think Skedaboo is still someone that you could look at doing again. There's nothing going to preclude you from doing another pick here, but I think the way that Caleb is,
I like Caleb.
Yeah,
I have Scatterbo over Caleb, but they're right neck and neck.
My biggest concern in the difference between the two is I feel like Caleb from a running style and body type will hold up a little bit longer. My biggest worry about Skedaboo is just that the pounding that he takes, and he's not necessarily the greatest. He absorbs the contact well and it doesn't go down, but he's not deflecting a lot of those hits. I think I have some just long-term injury concern.
10 seconds on the clock.
Caleb Johnson is the pick.
They really have a clock?
No, he's just pushing.
Straight up here, Phil. Well, so all of the people that are not Caleb Johnson fans sent me a video that I can play now.
You should stick to coaching soccer.
Oh, good. By the way, Maisie, happy birthday to my favorite 9-year-old.
To her credit, this request was put in. This request was put in about 10 days ago, Cars.
Okay, all right.
And at one point, you were in the next room, and Steph and the girls had to be very, very quiet.
In a draft room, Dark.
No, I want the feedback. We always talk through this. This is always part of the process. Now I'm going to overrule him every step along the way, but
then you heard why. Then you heard if I didn't ask the fucking question, you would not know why he did it.
No, it was the right thing to say.
Answer.
It's the right thing to say.
You're rational.
Do you want Phil? Do you really want Phil drafting for you?
I love all.
Oh, wrong one. Same topic.
He loved balls, so
sure he loves balls.
But yes, absolutely. Maisie, if you're still watching, still awake, happy birthday to my favorite 9-year-old.
Happy birthday, Maisie.
Absolutely. So we are up at pick 49. Cars, are you any kind of in love with Schlesinger like Phil and I are?
I love the player, but I just feel like I just
Oh
feel
my
like that's
God.
not a move that they're going to make right now. I still get the sense that they're married to the two guys that they have, especially after TJ Edwards' extension. Um, that's
I
just
think
my gut.
Schlesinger just he moved TJ to the mic.
I think TJ's going to be a better Mike,
And then you
but
get Schlesinger as your Schlesinger's a beast.
So you have one trade
But
offer to move back 10 spots for
my
59 and a
guy's there,
future
though.
pick.
There he is.
who's your guy?
Right there. He's another
Darius.
blue chipper. Darius Alexander.
Carr's your wide receiver
If you're
is
still
there. And again, if you go to your picks, you have picks 49, 72, and 81 coming up.
This is an important pick because you're going to lose Schlesinger, Alexander,
and Noel.
At that point.
And Noel.
Is there anything else that you want to look at though in terms of offensive line?
Show me the rest of the defensive line, if you wouldn't mind.
The interior, yep.
Yeah, all of it, because I like Alexander. My biggest question mark with him is, right, he is 24 going into this, right? So he is an older player. I have that as little bit of a concern. I like the player. I think that he is in play, but I just keep.
He's actually going to be 25 before the season starts.
Yeah, that's sort of an issue. I'm really big on Jalen Noel. Iowa State had such a terrible quarterback. Like, it was such a struggle. I really like this kid.
Do you want to look at tight ends just to see?
Yeah, might as well. I think Fannin. So if Fannin is there around the time we pick next, he's a guy that I think that they would draft.
Right. And I'll be honest, I do not think in the real draft he will be there because there is a lot of.
He's moving.
Yeah, he is. He's moving up, and I've shared it on here, and it's no big secret. The Bowling Green head coach is the quarterback coach where now in Philadelphia for the Eagles.
That's a very good call.
They believe big time in the tight end position. They're trying to move off of Dallas Goedert, so that is one connection that people can kind of look to, and believe it or not, there's been some teams connected to him at the end of round 1 so they can secure him.
Well, I don't look. Fannin is tight end is a position that we know is a need. They wouldn't be kicking the tires around a Tyler Warren if it wasn't. You really have to look at what he does, and he's truly from a maybe he's not a true tight end. Maybe he's more of a, H-back, whatever you want to kind of call him, a move guy. He's truly the most dynamic tight end in this draft after the catch from that perspective.
So is this, Phil, when you left, which I know it's not going to be a big factor to you because you're drafting football players, but Darius Alexander turns 25 in August.
Still okay with it.
Yep. So
I like maturity inside, especially. I think D tackle is the hardest to transition as a rookie. So that maturity is a positive to me because dealing with those doubles and getting smashed by grown men, you really see what a player's worth is. And some of these guys cower.
Cars, are you flipping in the card for your wide receiver here?
No, so you brought up a really good point though about Fannin and his.
That's my guy. Number 1 tight end.
He's the best one after the catch. He's the most dynamic one. I mean, when you go back and you look at what Laporta did 2 years ago for Detroit in that offense, there's no reason that you can't sit down and just look at Harold Fannin Jr. and look at that. So as much as I love Jalen Noel, if I'm looking at that team
This guy's hitting it out of the park for me right now.
Two tight end sets is gonna, Phil, we love the run game. We love 2 tight end sets. Fannin
And
Jr.
this guy's a willing.
Yes.
By the way, if Phil was running
blocker.
this draft, he wouldn't take any of these people because he gave it all up to move up for a running back at number 4. Anyways,
I would have traded back and gotten a few more picks later.
Yeah,
so
but
Harold Fannin.
Yep.
Great pick.
Turning it in. All right, we're going to run a little bit. 72. Schlesinger goes off the board.
I think Mom helped him with that pick as well.
Well, there's some people that want it.
Listen, when we go to bed tonight, I'm going to be laying next to her asking for her scouting reports on certain players for sure.
Oh, well, actually, the CHGO crew that employs Cole Kmet and his podcast have just sent me another video after that tight end pick.
I must be adopted because that pick was awful.
What does it say that I'm adopted? And anyway,
the best part about it is, Cars, I did not provide any script. I just told them to have fun with it. This was.
I'm feeling the love. I'm absolutely feeling the love in this family right now.
All right, let's go back to the draft. We were just at 49. Where
Besh went off the board.
Cars took Harold Fannin Jr., the tight end. Schlesinger. Alexander goes to Denver. Tui, Seattle. Benjamin Morrison goes to Green Bay. Noel goes to the Chargers. Elijah Arroyo. So you're probably pretty smart, Cars, because at 57, the next tight end went. So
yep.
Fannin probably would not have made it. Xavier, Baltimore gets a fucking another safety. Jesus Christ. Phil's guy, Princely. Jack Sawyer.
Pick.
Quinshawn Judkins goes down at 63 to the Kansas City Chiefs. Philadelphia continues to draft offensive linemen. The Giants, idiots, Jack Beck, Cars, and Phil's guy goes to Kansas City, Cars.
What was that one? The guy whose route tree has no branches. Was that the scouting report on that one?
It was not actually him.
Oh, okay.
Our friend Ryan Cox fucked that one up. But anyways, that's a whole nother
screw
show.
that guy.
Yes.
Tyler Shuck.
Jared Wilson, Jordan Birch. And so that brings the Chicago Bears back up on the clock here. You do have 2 trade offers. We'll go over those quick. Buffalo's offering 102 and 109 for 72. Kansas City wants to be on the move again, 95 and 133. Knowing Cars the way that I know him, I don't think he's interested in either.
I am not, because there's a player here that if I can steal the Mel Kiper Jr. tremendous upside potential, was just shown on the screen, but Shamar Turner is someone here from a size, capability, and potential to be something that at this point in the draft, I feel like, man, this is a swing that you take at a position of need, and you have a lot more confidence in him than Zach Pickens of being at least a rotational player.
Yeah, and they asked him to bulk up, and where he has come out and said that he was not comfortable at that weight, that he wanted to go, below it. I think, what did he end up at the combine weight wise? Does anybody have that?
Wasn't he like 284 at the combine?
Was he down? I think he's down even more since then. So is there any other position group that you want to look at?
Let's look at safety as well, just in case, because I think they've really got to start thinking. So when's our next pick after this?
All right, so now we go to 72 and 81.
Yeah, so
6'6", 290.
Who's that?
Shamar Stewart.
Was that what he was at the combine?
Yeah, 6'6".
Oh, these guys have him listed as 6. Did they just have him listed as 6'3"?
6'5". Sorry, he was 6'5", 267.
Yeah, he was
at his pro day.
Yeah, he was down. He wanted to be in that range from 250 or 265 to 268. That's where he was comfortable. Texas A&M wanted him to bulk up to What was he at the combine? 290?
Hold
on. Oh, just lost him. Anyways. Cars, what do you said safety?
So, yeah, because I think the smoke here a lot has been Makuba.
Yep.
But I
Sorry
look
about that.
Makuba is like just kind of looking at the way that this would play out.
Oh,
I
Turner,
think,
you wanted Turner.
Yeah, Shamar Turner.
I'm thinking Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
We got 2 Shamars with a little bit of rap by me, Lamar.
I was going to say, they were way the fuck off on his height then.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Let me look
but
here.
Turner
6'4", 300 at the regular season.
Right. But then
6'3", 290.
Yeah, so he was losing it, and then I think he was even lighter than that.
Ran
at
a
the pro day.
4.840 at 290 though.
Yeah. So have you decided, Cars? Is it the
it's going to be Turner at that point, because I think Makuba is a guy that they'll look at the next pick and is going to be way more likely to be
Kuba
there.
is a tough fucking football.
So done deal. We're turning it in.
Yep, absolutely, sir.
He is a tough. I like Makuba.
Winston just came off. Here we go. Are you gonna get your? Oh, Phil, did you see who just went right before the pick before?
Oh,
Phil's
my
edge
sleeper
rusher.
edge. Olafami.
You are offered a trade from 97.
I don't take anything from
Coach O
Interdivision.
says hello, guys. He's at the house for surgery tomorrow.
Oh no! What?
He's at your house?
Yeah. He's
Well, I texted Coach O earlier, and I will share this with everybody so I can make fun of him a little bit. And I said, "Hey, Coach, good luck tomorrow. I'll be thinking about you, and I love you." And he responded, "Thank you. I'm sorry I don't have your number in my phone." Who is this?
I was gonna make the joke, new phone, who dis, but that is fantastic.
I told him who it was, and I have yet to hear back from him. But anyway,
he was back.
He was driving. He was driving.
Oh, he was. He literally had to take that medication all day.
Oh, Cars, my wide receiver staring you right there in the face too.
Who's your wideout?
Kyle Williams. Me and Ryan Cox both big fans.
Oh boy, let's
I
look at
like
safety
him,
here.
too. I like him.
There's Makuba.
I look at this. So as much as I like Kyle,
yeah, it's a bigger need. I get
There's
it.
been so much smoke about Makuba, and you just can't at this point. Just trusting that that our safety Brisker will be healthy for the whole season is criminal negligence. And I think Phil's point is right. He's one hell of a football player. Like
turning it in, Andrew Makuba.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna be
I'll let him
sitting
know.
here for a little bit. So
Yeah,
now,
and just one.
Cars, you got 148, 233, and 240 remaining. As we move, we're gonna be sitting here for a little bit. What are you kind of looking at? And I'll be honest, Phil and I have talked about this. We talked about it with Matt Waldman a little bit. I have no problem with the Bears doubling up at the running back position because I'm just not a DeAndre Swift. We know is going to be in Chicago 1 year and then gone.
And then he's gone. Yeah.
Not a big believer in Roshan Johnson and where he's headed in his career. I am not against it because that's a guy right there that I'd be absolutely considering.
Yeah. I think you have to. Again, to your point, this is going to be a young offensive team, minus the guard position. Dahlman's young, Wright is young. If we draft Ursery, that's
Think
young.
about a 2026 running back duo of Caleb Johnson and Brashard Smith. That's pretty fucking fun. That's options for your head coach, Ben Johnson, that the Bears have not had in a long, long time.
And I think so. Right here, what are you looking for? To me, is it's running back. You're really looking for interior offensive line or interior defensive line guys that have some sort of like I like the idea of Jackson Slater, but not probably at this point in time. But if you've got Brashard here, like, Lord, I'm not batting an eye. Like that's a guy you go get happily. Again, he does a lot of he's so explosive. to me. You can't. We've been continually talking about DeAndre Swift, right? And it's like, God, he gets some big plays, and we know he leaves like 6 or 7 of them on the field as well. But Brashard Smith, for me, would be the player.
Phil, what's your thoughts? Doubling up at running back.
Who are the other running backs?
Let me bring them up. Smith, Gordon, Neal. And I guess when you're looking at this too, Jaden Blue, I think, is going to be higher than this. I know the fumbling issue needs to.
I like Devin Neal and Jaden Blue more than Smith. But Smith is the former receiver. I know he's got some scoots.
Cannot pass block worth a lick.
Devin Neal, to me, is a better back. Ollie Gordon is a bruise, but you already got Caleb. So
Devin is just an interest, because isn't Devin like just a? Why do I get the sense? Isn't he 5? He's bigger than I thought.
Yep,
he's 5'11".
No, I just look at that like from a skill set. It's again not like for like, but from Jahmyr Gibbs, that type of skill set of what he's done and where he's played, I like quite a bit at that point.
For Brashard or Devin?
For Brashard is that skill set to me is just something.
I think Jaden Blue, if you're like that speed, I like Jaden Blue. I just think Jaden Blue has more run instincts and home run hitting potential as a running back. Whereas Brashard, he can't. Jaden Blue will at least put his face in there.
Yeah.
Fucking tackles.
My concern there is just injury history with that kid.
Fumbles.
That's the big thing is the fumbles are a definite concern. But you have 18 seconds on the clock, Cars.
I love Jaden Blue.
If it weren't for the injury, I think he's someone that I would look at, but Brashard Smith would be the player at this point.
All right, we're turning it in. We're going to go on a nice little ride here down to pick 233. This is Carr's favorite portion of the draft, where he will be in full kicker. I don't give a fuck mode.
Show me the kicker. And no, I'm just kidding.
Tell you what, there's a couple good. Bill turned us on in our tape to the safety Dan Jackson out of Georgia. Man, that you watch Georgia tape, and as frustrating as it is to watch, you will see Dan Jackson on about every fucking pile.
Dan Jackson doesn't go off the field.
Oh man,
just everybody else does.
And Tate would be very happy.
Lord, none of those names do anything for me. Yeah, show me. So at this point, you're probably looking at like, yes, safeties are looking clean off the board at that point. Wow,
yep, there's Dan.
There's Dan.
Yep. You haven't addressed linebacker. Yeah, like I said, I know Ivan took Kaiser last night. Pretty much everybody at the end of this list, linebacker wise, Sandlin took. Cars, do you have a preference for a
how about receiver?
Yeah, the receiver would be the other position to look at. See if there's anyone that I like. I'm just not Jimmy Horn. I just love the name, but it's not going to be anything. At this point,
a young receiver from Eastern Kentucky.
I'll give you that. Who are we looking at? This is the part where I'm like in over my head.
Cars, you'll know. Where the hell is he, Phil?
He might have already
get picked.
What was
Maybe he did. You know who it is, Cars. Afton Chisholm.
He got picked. He got picked.
He did get picked.
Oh, did he?
I
guess I wasn't paying attention.
Can you search for them to see if he's been picked? Yeah, so he's
unavailable.
He's not in there. That's fine.
No, he is in the draft. He must have gotten picked.
Must have gotten picked. That's the interior of your line. Marcus Weird, didn't we have something on him, Phil? Who were we talking to? Somebody. Maybe I was talking
I
to
remember
somebody
that kid.
about him, but yeah. So what do you think, Cars? What do you
The guard from Minnesota's pretty good football player.
Cooper? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, at this point, you're looking at interior line, you're looking at interior defensive line, and you're looking at linebacker and safety because you're looking at guys that can help out on special teams minimally. At this point, I could be talked into pretty much anybody.
You know who I'd take a gamble on down here, and I think that he's going to go higher than this in the draft is the guy from Boise, Phil. You and I talked about him. He's raw. He came to football late, but man, there's a lot to work with there as a developmental edge. But this is not my draft.
That name just wouldn't do well.
He's not here. He hasn't been drafted.
No, they have him. They're way low on him. 281. I think he's going to be a 3rd-round draft pick all day long.
I would take that guy here. Yes.
Then just do it. Just do it.
That's a great catch, Shane. He's probably older, but he is a football player.
Yes, he's 42.
Everything he has.
42 years old. All right, Cars, your final.
Tyler Cooper at this. If you want an interior guard, left guard.
He's gone.
Oh, he went.
Yep. Dan Jackson's there.
Draft him. Add him to the list.
Danny Jackson.
All right. So let me remove this. We will do.
Just remember Tyler Cooper.
Yeah. Let me.
He's one of these workmen like waiting to be the next Todd Berger.
Oh, God, Todd Berger.
Just get after it. Better than you thought, athlete.
He's no Rex Tucker. I love that dude, but he just could not stay healthy.
Pretty much most
Rex
of our
over
favorite Bears
Ross.
players.
Rex over Ross.
All right. Cars, I'm liking this draft. I'm not going to fucking lie. Mike Green in the trade down. Ariante Ursary, Caleb Johnson, Harold Fannin, Shamar Turner, Andrew Makuba, Brashard Smith, Ahmed Hassanin, and Dan Jackson. I think you got
you
contributors on every one of those.
Absolutely. Mike Green gives you that elite level pass rusher who's got a lot of tools in the box. Who's going to win with hustle and effort, and he plays physical. Like outside zone going away, he's going flat down the line, and he's going to put his face in the running back if he tries to cut back. Then next play, he'll beat you with a spin move. You love that.
Well, you love that kind of player because how many kids come in as pass rushers that have counters to their first move, right? Most of these guys have 2 moves that they've got and no counters to that. For Mike to come in and have that already, that's such a win from a rookie perspective.
Are you making fun of Austin Booker Cars right now? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, pretty much. It's my issue with Abdul Carter. Like he gets around the edge, he looks great. He doesn't get to the edge. Holy shit. It's done.
Speaking of Abdul Carter, your 2nd round pick absolutely embarrassed him all game long.
Yeah, and
in Minnesota.
A couple of the people had in there that that the Bears need offensive line depth and interior depth, and so the way that you got to look at this. So Carr's got you what we feel like can be a starter at left tackle in Ursary. So that's going to push Braxton Jones to a depth position. Karan Amagaji to a depth position. You still have Ryan Bates on this team, who is not going to start anywhere unless all hell breaks loose. So you do have that depth, and it's all guys that you were actually relying on
to start
last year in 2024. So that's the way that you have to look at it. And you still, on top of that, just going through, you still have developmental guys. Theo Benedict, is
He
going to
Bill Murray is a player that
Bill
they
Murray, I
Bill
like.
Murray, who they brought back. Stromberg,
Like Bill
you still
Murray.
have.
Oh yeah, Stromberg's a fascinating dude too. Yeah, I always forget about him.
And listen, and I know, say what you want. The Bears claimed this player during the season, right at the end of the season. They claimed him so that they see something in him. And Jordan McFadden, they claimed him. I think it was from San Diego.
Oh yeah, the right tackle.
Yep. So it's they do have, listen, not big
Logan
names.
Frost never change. Never change.
What did Logan
We
say?
can keep going back to that well.
Everybody had a chance, Jack, and he made 1.2 million. He went to Dallas because of Flus.
Yep.
I wouldn't have moved off of Sanborn for what he was making, but Dennis Allen obviously had other.
No, but that's
other
what
thoughts.
Allen does. You know,
Yeah.
like if you look at who's the linebacker that just got paid at Philly?
Yeah,
Bowman.
Shit. No, it's shit. Somebody in the chat.
Braun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach Braun. Yeah.
He was with Dennis Allen in New Orleans, but wasn't going to get time because he was behind Demario Davis, and I can't remember the other. So Dennis Allen kind of has this thing where he goes, "You're a good player. You're not going to play for me. I'm going to let you go so that you get that chance." I think that's a part of Sanborn for him as well. Is like, I'm going to give you this chance to go earn more than you would here because you're just not going to play a whole lot.
They also like the kid from UCLA, Carl Jones.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that kid, and that's another player we do not talk enough about.
Yeah, and body type wise, he's a carbon copy of Sanborn, but just physically, he's a more explosive player, and I think that's
way
what Dennis
more
Allen.
explosive.
Yeah, what Dennis Allen is looking at, and like I'm not bagging on Logan. Jack
like
Sanborn
Sanborn.
would still be on my team if I'm not losing him for 1.2 million, but the thought process within the NFL, you have to take that into consideration. Every team in the league had the chance to sign Jack Sanborn for almost nothing, and they didn't.
It's kind of like when Urlacher got released, right? And everybody was all upset.
Yeah.
And it's like your value is where you'll what people will pay you. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so throw that up there one more time, and we can get out of here at a respectable time tonight, I think, Phil, unless you got anything else. Plan Mike Green, number 1 for the Bears at number 14 overall. Cars moved back from 10 to 14. Secured the Marshall pass rusher, Ariante Ursary, offensive tackle
Love
from Minnesota.
My number 3 offensive tackle
in
the draft, and Coach O's and Big Steve's.
Caleb Johnson, Harold Fannin Jr.
I'm so over
My
the moon
number
about
1
Harold
tight end.
Fannin Jr. Like Fannin Jr. to me.
Thank you, Shane. He was gonna go with Noel Delay.
Oh, thank God. The coach
I'll let you say it because those are words that I will never utter out of my mouth. But like,
you gotta be amazing to say.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm
texting her now.
Yeah, she did it. She would be over the moon. But I'm with you, Phil, because I think his skill set is what's different, and sometimes you got to take a player that may not look like the prototype, right, at the player. This isn't Gronk. This isn't Kelsey. This is somebody who has a skill set that if you've got a good offensive mind can really deploy it in a way that gets very creative. He's a matchup nightmare. You're going to put a linebacker on him, good luck. You want to put a safety on him, good luck. If you got to put a corner on him, now we're just going to run the ball at you. And to your point, he's an extremely willing and physical blocker. So he's a nice.
They lined him up in the backfield, and they're running toss with him. He looks like a running back out there.
Do you want to play
it all?
Hindsight is 2020. Do you want to play that game right now?
Always.
Phil Ocean, I have a question for you.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, this should be good.
Phil, Would
said
you
if you identified
would you
Jesse.
trade Caleb Johnson, Ariante Ursary, and Mike Green straight up for Ashton Genty?
No, because Mike Green carries that same
Proud
weight.
of you. I'm proud of you.
Mike
Did,
Green.
did we just all share a moment
I
together?
think we did. Oh my
Like-
god.
Duval.
God, I don't know about you, but that
you
is
got
what
my number one tight end in the draft. You got the number one defensive player in the draft. In my opinion, he's the number one pass rusher. He's better than Abdul Carter.
But my overall point is I think that there is 100% a pathway to those first
he's
three
thinking
guys
like
by
Poles.
sitting and picking.
Listen, if he's thinking like I'm afraid that we sit and take Warren at 10. Then I'm fucking. That's where I'd rather trade up and make sure I get the blue chip. You see what I'm saying?
Warren at 10 is up there with the drafting a cornerback at 10. Like
I totally agree.
I like the player. You're talking about I don't love the fit at that point. I don't love the time. I don't love anything
I'll tell
else.
you what, the only way that I would accept
I totally agree with you.
tight end at 10 is
I
I
thought
would
he
take,
was coming another way.
would you guys both go tight end before corner? Because I would at 10.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Me too.
But this is the thing. Like see how Cars talked about Fannin Jr. So when I look at tape, he's over Tyler Warren. But then you add in the fit because he's the closest thing to Laporta, which fits your scheme in this draft. Loveland is not Fannin Jr. Loveland can't block like him. Loveland has moments where he's twitchy and he can separate, but he's a skinny-legged fit blocker. He's not a block. This kid puts his face in there.
And John, it doesn't make sense to trade Cole Kmet.
Oh.
Even with Fannin, you want them both.
Only reason why you trade Cole is if he becomes Pouty Cole.
Yeah, but I mean,
Get him out of there. If you're not,
you don't trade him
buying
just because you drafted
Yes.
Fannin. I've seen people say that, and you don't, because listen, we're excited about Ben Johnson, Dan Roshar, and Dennis Allen, and this coaching staff in general. There's a pathway that Ben Johnson and Dan Roshar, simply based on coaching, can make Braxton Jones a better offensive lineman because of the situations and the play calling, all of that. I'm not saying that I'm comfortable with moving forward with Braxton, but coaching can be a big fucking part of
it's the
players.
biggest. You're 100% right.
Absolutely.
Can't be a hypocrite. I've said it for years.
When I'm sitting here saying I don't want a corner, it's because I still believe in Tyreek Stevenson. I want Tyreek Stevenson to work with Al Harris and Dennis Allen. I want him to push the bullshit out and bring the dog back that Tyreek has in him. Because that's
rookie
the type.
year.
He's a fucking tone setter with the way that dude tackles when he's locked in.
God.
And Al Harris is going to get that out of the kid.
He's a great football player.
You go out and draft Will Johnson at number 10.
He's immature.
You go out and draft Will Johnson at number 10. Tyreek is fucking done here. Over.
Will Johnson. Barron is better than Johnson in my. No offense, Sheree.
He had a step back year. I think Will Johnson did 2 years ago. He was better. I like Will Johnson. There's no fucking way I'm drafting a corner.
I agree.
I think the best corner,
but
the best corner in the draft had a torn ACL. The kid from East Carolina, from Ryan Cox.
Yeah.
His school.
Oh yeah, that kid.
That dude's got everything you want.
What's Reverie?
Revel.
Yeah.
That's it. Revel.
No, I completely agree. Like if it's tight end or corner, it's definitely tight end. But what Warren is an upgrade over Cole Kmet, but this isn't like a Brock Bowers is an upgrade over Mayer in Las Vegas type of scenario. That's not that.
Don't you guys feel like the Ben Johnson? if Cole is locked in mentally, and like Phil said, not the pouty Cole and
Yeah.
worried about everything else, I feel like the Ben Johnson and the offensive coaching staff can get more out of Cole Kmet, put him in better positions.
Oh,
That
a
that's
million
how I
percent.
feel.
You're going to see
And
that
he's
for
still
Rome and
in-
DJ too,
Yeah.
right? Like you're 100% correct. When you have competence is going to look at a player and go, "What do you do well?" We're going to do a lot of that. What did we do last year? Well, this is what I like to run. Do you fit into this scheme? No, but I still am going to run what I like to run,
Right.
whether you fit or not.
Yeah, and Orange Bear, this is
100%.
This
That's
is like
bad
going
coaching.
back to this is I don't want to say you're trying to have a gotcha moment, but so are you saying that Caleb was the issue to
No.
Braxton Jones?
No, that's not what he's saying. We say a lot about how on the offensive line, if you've got a good quarterback can make an offensive line look better.
Sure.
And that I think I look at this as the Orange Bear is saying you need to upgrade from Braxton.
Yeah, and that my point is too though. Let's not put absolutely everything on the rookie quarterback to come in and
that was the worst situation from what should have been the best, but the worst
right.
coaching situation for him to get drafted into.
The other thing is, with you saying that, this is what you believe polls will do.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Green versus George McCaskey. Now, I just want to say this because we had some asshole in here last night or the night before making shit up about Mike Green, just throwing shit, becomes a target because
it was last night. It was all based on what his off the field could have been, and you guys are fine with drafting, or I don't even want to talk about what he said, but because we don't have access to that.
And everything from that was back in high school, correct?
Well, it was at Virginia. It was at Virginia, and once it came up, he just where it's the
I heard
red
about
mark
the
on-
backstory from a booster or a friend of a
but it
booster.
was at Virginia, and he left the team because he, to Phil's point, didn't feel like he had the
felt
backing
like
from the coaching staff.
The coaching staff didn't back him. That the accusation was false, and he felt like that staff didn't support him. So he was very sensitive to it and said, when they're not supporting me in this crazy moment, I'm fucking out of here. As maybe a 17-year-old kid does, right? So he transfers. I mean, some of these dudes are transferring for fucking money.
Oh yeah.
So good time to be a shitty college quarterback, right? You can get a lot of money by going to UCLA.
Wear your Cookie Monster sleepy pants.
Listen, the Bears are gonna do research on it. They are gonna have to have an answer to McCaskey about it. And you know what? I don't necessarily think that that's a wrong thing to say, right? Or a wrong thing to do. You want to look into these players. He's going to have a talk track around it. They're going to talk through what happened.
Bullet says it right there. 2 separate allegations.
Allegations
of sexual assault.
is the
one during high school and another one while at the University of Virginia. Neither case resulted in criminal charges.
So I always hate those, right? I always hate seeing it, but to this point, it's not necessarily a pattern. It's what has happened. They will remember, NFL teams have investigators that they put in to look at these things. Investigators will talk to the police department. This all part of their background check. They will know, to Shane's point, way better than us.
Yeah, they know.
Then let me do what I hired to do.
We should hire Angelo as our private investigator.
He
Absolutely.
did text me. He's like, Coach,
Oh my
where's
God.
the link?
I have 47 missed phone calls and like 12 text messages
you
I'm just
do?
seeing right now.
He's like, Coach, where's the link? He's like, Coach, I gotta go to court tomorrow. So I gotta get up early. We'll do it another time.
Yeah. But anyways, I say we get out of here early, man. We got a busy couple of days coming up.
We've been on the air a lot this week, Shane.
Yeah, so heading into this show, we were at just about 9 hours of live coverage since Saturday, and you add in another 2.5 hours. So
hold on. Breaking.
Yeah, what was the
was this?
What is the update, John, on that? Because we can
Someone-
we'll make a phone call tonight and handle that.
I'm gonna have to make a few fucking calls to my people.
That's right.
Who's making Braggs change his pick?
Taco Bell.
What? What was his pick? What was his?
I didn't watch it.
Did anybody see it?
I did
Usually Drew keeps me abreast of all these.
I did talk to Greg today. He was on his way. He was on his way in.
Oh
the show.
shit! He picked green, and they made him change it.
What was their reasoning?
Oh my god! Don't let me run.
Carm
up
wanted to
and
trade
down
Caleb
Carm's-
Williams to open up the playing time for Tyson Bagent. Is that what it was?
How does one make you change it?
I'm not smart.
Cars
No.
didn't
Oh.
change shit. Cars.
Bill and I were
Just went in
sold
there.
that Cars was going to draft a tight end at 10.
I thought he was
I
going-
thought you were going to go with Warren.
I
Oh,
thought he was
that
going
was
Warren.
that was just fun for me to fuck with you both. I mean, let's not lie. That's good times for me.
We got a bigger strip.
They said keep the TTNL shit out of that.
Sure, they did.
I'm sure they did. They take.
You might
a
learn
hard
so.
stand.
Yeah, why would you want to learn anything from us?
Why would you want to take a great pass rusher? I mean, can always get a tight end.
Yeah, but what was
Merrill-
during their mock draft segment? We understand that it was during mock draft, but what was their reasoning for making him change it? They must have said something.
No.
No. We're very
We're
non-sexual assaulty, my football team.
There you go. Two muffin men with Greg Braggs.
They just probably had a chalupa behind the camera, just kind of going.
What the change? What did he change it to?
So how weird is it? So they didn't
All right,
say.
we'll look.
Oh
We'll figure
my
it out.
god.
Call this dude up.
Call him up, Shane. See if he picks up. Fucking Cars knocks it out of the park with his draft.
Richard Gordon. Is that better, Richard?
Oh jeez.
Lord,
You
I
can't have us on one side.
Hello.
She's like, Shane, what did you do?
At some point, what I've appreciated about the evolution of Cherie is at first it was kind of like, oh my god, and now she's just like, this shit again, Shane. We've
Right.
seen this
I'm
100
so
times
used to
already.
Shane.
Shuri, you want to be on top or you want to be on the bottom? I can do either. Side to side.
My preference? Top.
Oh,
That's why I kept you up
yes.
there, girl.
Oh my god.
It all comes together.
You should have seen the pre-show banter. Shuri goes, I feel like I've never even been gone. You talking to me like this. I'm like,
The things that Shane says.
Oh
is
my
this the
god.
first time you meeting me, Shuri?
Well,
No.
I guess we
I
have
should at least ease me back into it.
Yeah, that's
Clip it. Clip
Going
it.
right in.
Clip
Going
it.
right in, Shuri.
Clip that
No
right
room.
now.
Bam. That's right.
Well, we'll have to find out what transpired there.
Yeah, we'll
It
get
would
to
have
the
made
bottom of
for
this
a
one.
good
So what is
rant
the
by me
what is the-
destroying that.
plans for tomorrow night? Cars, are you going to come on with us for the first round?
Cars is
Bears
going to be
pick?
drunk in a bar in Naperville.
Well, we're going to send you a link after the pick then.
All right, send me a link. I've found the only towny bar here in Naperville, and
There you go.
we're gonna be doing fireball shots all night long. So we're gonna call it.
All right, my legs are falling asleep. I gotta switch this up. Anyways, so that's
That was good.
I say we get out of here, and we're gonna have some. We're gonna have nice show tomorrow night. It's gonna be fun. I see a new intro. Who knows what's going on, Phil?
Definitely a new intro I've been working on for a few days, and some
Hopefully
other
it's rock and
surprises.
roll. Hopefully
No,
you're breaking out the
definitely
guitar.
not rock and roll. If someone would like to send in their music, if you are inspired by TTNL,
So good question, Keys guys. So the draft starts at 8 p.m. East, and the way that we always do it, we will go live 30 minutes before the start of the draft. So 8 p.m. So that means 7:30 p.m. East. We will be going live tomorrow night. Friday, the draft starts at 7 p.m. East. So we'll be live at 6:30. And then Saturday.
7 on Friday, really?
Yes. And then on Saturday, it's a noon East start. So we will be kicking off at 11:30 a.m. And day 3 is going to be a tough one this year because the Bears have a 5th and 2 7th rounders. So
PJ is going to be at Lambeau. Should we send him a link?
We
Our
can.
man on the scene?
Never heard of it's PJ. And let me see.
I don't know.
Let me
I
check
have
out
no
PJ's
idea.
comments here.
But he'll
Oh,
be
he's
at
got lots of
Safety Lambeau.
comments. He's never had a timeout. He joined YouTube 7 years ago.
God.
Look at this. I got everything on PJ.
PJ. It's DM Shane.
Oh, Bullets has a alter ego, and he's known as Leo King. Titans are going with Cam Ward, number 1.
Says we're gonna end it on predictions. Yes, we're gonna do that, and we have a special tribute to end the show. We'll go around real quick, or do you want to just wait till tomorrow?
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We have 30 minutes leading up to it. We're gonna
we'll do it then.
We're gonna have we'll do it sandwiched around the prediction from David Kaplan, who will have his
Cap will be making an appearance tomorrow during the draft in the first round as well.
Yeah, he may be
jumping on. Matt
here
Waldman will be on night 2.
Yes, along with Eric Clemens.
Eric Clemens, former ESPN Sports Center anchor and huge patron of TTNL.
Oh yeah. Speaking of that, I got to send Eric the link. And yeah, so day 3 should be fun.
Day 3, we're gonna invite some of you guys on.
Yeah, we're gonna have you on. Or shit, I might let you guys take over.
Maybe
the
Mike
complete
Huff
show.
ain't working that day, Shane.
I'll go take a nap.
We'll finally get Mike Huff on.
We gotta get Mike Huff on. We gotta
get
give Mike Huff his own show.
Mike Huff.
He's probably
He's
pissed.
got
because
more insiders.
He's probably pissed because Syracuse signed their quarterback from Notre Dame today.
They let go of that kid, huh?
Yeah, he committed to Syracuse today.
That's a good pickup for the Qs. I thought that dude, he's the
Jelly?
underrated game. Yeah, he was underrated. He may have saved that game by throwing those balls at before the half.
Yes, he is a member of the Syracuse Orange, sir.
Yeah, the Orangeman.
Yes.
Well, you got a picture of it?
There he is.
He is.
Right there.
Talented passer. There you go, Notre Dame Bullets. Fuck you, Bullets.
Fuck you, Bullets. That was the live version right there.
I love Bullets. Oh,
Fuck you, Bullets.
Show
How do you
the
not?
Quiddy Pay. The Quiddy Pay card Bullets sent us.
Yes, Phil and I had special delivery packages that we both opened up from Uncle Bullets.
Uncle
They
Bullets
were autographed. PSA graded Quiddy Pay cards.
PSA graded. Tomorrow,
is-
I'm going to have that Quiddy Pay card for luck.
Yeah.
Because if we come out of the draft with the way Cars ran his mock tonight, I'll be a happy guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm here to help. I'm a man of the people.
Great job tonight, Cars. There it is. The live Cars mock. He's predicted quite a few that came to fruition. Carstradamus, as Corn Planter called him.
Yes.
The only one I would have rearranged, and you can't go wrong, was Caleb. I like Scataboo, but Caleb is right there. He is a 2B.
So man, I fucked up, but
of course, Cars takes Phil's 2B.
Again, this is why
nobody knows the backstory to this, where that all started. People get mad every year about it. Phil just keeps on going and pretends like he has no idea, but he's very well aware of why he does it.
This is why I didn't put a full list of quarterbacks, because I knew that Phil was going to have A's, B's, and C's for my top 5 listing, and I gave them to Phil so that as a group we did not overcommit on draft rankings.
Poor Sean Stewart was making fucking graphics, and he's like, "This would be perfect if I didn't have like Phil's F offensive guard."
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking news.
You put it up there and then took it down. That's the breaking news. Cherie is back. We had no idea.
Don't call it a comeback. She's been here for years.
Yes,
she is back.
Speaking of come on.
All right. Good night, everybody.
On top.
Gotta be on top of that one. Anyways,
we'll be back tomorrow night for our live coverage. If you haven't watched the draft here with your guys, it's something very special. Living in the moment where it does matter to us. We really do have a passion for this football team. We've known each other for a long time, and you, the fan, I thank you all off season. It's been fun for me.
Nope.
Until this past week. Now is when all the rumors and belittling prospects and doing all that shit, it just always drives me nuts. It's my least favorite. As Brian Cox said, the day before the draft is my least favorite draft, because that's the day we just start hearing all these phony rumors, and Shane shares them all with me, and so does Cox, and then I get fired up.
Fire him up. It works.
But that's that.
I got it up.
Yes, he did. No trade up. We'll just trade down and get Mike Green. That would be
Phil, could you hear me? This is your dad speaking. Can you hear me? I'm in space. I'm in space.
Yeah, tonight. Tomorrow he'll be in space going under the knife. They changed his surgery time to like 5. He's got to be there at 5.
Well, they actually changed the entire day. If you look at Cherie's text message thread from you, Phil, because you told her the wrong fucking day.
You did.
Really?
Yes.
It'll be the 23rd.
Well, what's tomorrow?
Duval.
I was going off the draft and fucked up that day. So there you go. I apologize. I have no idea. 24th. Thank you guys. All your positive energy towards my pops tomorrow. He's in the other room sleeping on the couch. Prefers the couch.
I got to put all my positive energy into Greg's mother now that Cherie's going to bed. So, hey, the draft is here. Merry Christmas, everybody. We're out of here. We got one little clip.
Thank you.
Don't go away.